So basically, this is a fill of actually I found it on a sample CD, and it goes like this. So alone, it sounds like this. I actually used two of those samples, and I just put one on like on left channel, another one on the right channel, so I get like a kind of stereo picture, you know. So these are small details that are making my tracks interesting. It's like all about the small things, like stereo, like a little bit of panning. Everything counts. Also, all the small details all the small details counts, and I really love them. Whenever I hear a track and I hear this guy was putting an effort, you know, to make a break properly, you know. A lot of people are saying, okay, techno shouldn't be overproduced. But I disagree, you know. Like, all the tracks need to sound interesting. There should be all these small details, you know, about about the sound, about the production, about the arrangement. Everything counts. Okay, let's hear it. What I used in the track. Okay. These are like rhythm glitches. Again.
These are little samples.
Yeah, these are loops actually. Like with the loops, I always cut them out, cut them down really heavily on a frequency. For example, this was cut down at 400 hertz. And why I do it? A lot of people are saying it's not really necessary, but for me, I want my bass drum in a bass line to be alone. You know, I don't want to, like, all these crazy rhythm sounds are involved in this sound. So I want to separate this. You know, I want to keep it clean.
Did you have to do that with the strings as well? Was there much processing on the strings? Or?
Let's hear it. Okay. Actually, what else is there? And there are some more rhythm sounds. The bass drum. So as you can hear, strings are cutted out really heavily, and you can hear some peak, like some glitches inside. But I couldn't do it better actually, because it's technical stuff. You know, if we want the note to be as long as possible, it needs to have this inside. When you cut it, like a sample, and if it is raw, we can hear it. It sounds really funny. Let's hear it without everything. But when you put some reverb on it and everything is... when you put a reverb, the sound immediately becomes a bit longer, and it has this a bit more live feel.
And you've got it side chaining there?
Actually, yeah, there's a bit side of chaining in there, but not a lot, because anyway, it's out of the kick, you know. So I mean, it's on hi-hat, so it's in between. So I mean, I put it anyway, you know, but otherwise it doesn't really need it. But sidechain really works well as well with reverbs, of course. If you have a long reverb and put it bass drum, you get this really nice, amazing pumping feel. So this was the first string, I think, and there's this other. Both together. When you hear it alone, it sounds really funny, but together it works.
breakdown, I guess you had to decide what was going to be the hook
Yes.
of this whole Four Seasons.
Yeah, the problem is actually the problem that I had here is how to pre-announce the main melody that will appear, and I had a big problem. I didn't know actually what to do, and I did this filter breakdown when the sound goes just down and then it's coming up slowly. And yeah, it's really important. What kind of parts do you put first in a track? You know, so the whole track has a sense, has any sense, you know. So yeah, this time at this point I decided to do this filter thing, and after that I showed the main riff, the main melody, and after that, you know, it's after the break, it's the main thing, the power, where everything comes inside. All the rhythm section, all the effects, the melodies, and for me it's important that the track starts like with a small things and builds it up to the break, and after the break, when it hits, the dance floor must go crazy, and you have to have an impact. So basically, I would suggest in a break, of course, you need to use some effects. Effects are really important. Like it's just like a reverb crash, and I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plugins actually just on this small thing. So I have like, for example, channel EQ, a sample delay, which is actually not really good for the sound because it goes into phases. But if you use it like really on like a small things and on short things, then it gives you an extra touch. Then you have a tape delay on it, a tremolo for kind of panning, and of course a reverb. So there's another one. It goes like this. My suggestion would be before after the break, when it hits, you need to clear things a little bit. You know, so you have like this small space of no sounds, if possible, because then the impact of the track when it hits is so much bigger, you know, on a dance floor. If you put you can put a lot of things in a break and you can build it up, but then on the end you can use like EQ to just filter it up really high, and then when the bass drum like explodes and everything, you have a proper feel. And this is what people really like in a club. Even if they don't hear it subconsciously, they will love the power, like the difference between like a break and then the power thing that it hits. They love it.
So when you're filtered there, do you have a specific filter you like, or are you just using the Logic EQ? Or?
Oh, actually with filter I use auto filter of Logic. But I really love, this is just like for like if I need like a simple filter I can do with this. It's actually really cool. You can sync it, you can do whatever with him. It's amazing what you can do with it. Like for example, because it's actually very simple, but you can get some really cool effects, cool filter things. But it's very basic, and as I was using this machine for as long as I have Logic, I'm always excited when I get something new. And basically a really cool thing, it's a wow filter of wow filter. It's from Sugar Bites, you're right, and I really love that thing, and it's absolutely amazing. You have some really cool presets. You can adjust everything to LFO or to sequencer, and it's a perfect machine. But that machine I use more like when I have like a sample I want to do a different melody with like a filter, because filter is it's opening the notes and it's closing, and it's so many different things you can do with it, and I just love it. So basically I use these two filters. This one is coming out really handy for breaks when you just need to do like just cut it off And when I do some more complex things, a bit more crazier, then I use WAV filter. Basically, what I do with the Logic is I keep everything in a non-distortion zone. And how I do it, I go, for example, let's check it out. What's on the channel? As I said before, I use a lot of things on a different channel. So, for example, here is kick. No, this is a rhythm section. Sorry. So basically, what I do is, as I told you before, I love to cut it down, so the bass of rhythm section doesn't affect the bass drum and the bass line. It happens a lot of times that people are mixing the track and they're saying, the bass drum is jumping here and there. Of course, it's jumping because you didn't cut out the bass for example, on some synths out, which can be really heavy, or on a rhythm section. And when you compress it on the end, it comes out like 3 times stronger than it was on the beginning. So be careful what you do. Always check out some notches in loops, for example. A lot of times in the middle. On the middle tones, there are notches that are affecting peaks of the bass drum, for example. There's so many things you need to watch out. But I use a lot of things. The mix starts actually when you're already starting the track. When you're choosing the sound, the mix already started. Because the bass drum, which sounds shit, it will never sound good, even no matter how many compressors, I don't know how many bass enhancers you put on it, is going to sound still shit. So be careful, choose the proper bass line, the mix proper bass. The mix starts there, and then I edit. Mix every track separately. For example, I always put some compressor on it, channel EQ, whatever, like panning, blah blah blah. And then when everything is ready, when it's cut it out on high tones and on the bass tones, then I put it in groups. I use, for example, I would use in this track, let's say I would use one group for bass drum, or just a normal, you can put it, in a bass line. Then I would do rhythm section. All the rhythm section, I would separate rhythm section on a section which is only on like really high tones, high frequencies. And then I would use, like I say, a conga bass. Conga means that all the sounds which are like on the middle tones, like percussions and stuff, that would be like bass number 4. Then I would have FX, would be bass number 5, and then would be synthesizers number 6. So then I would have six different basses, and I would again go check it out with the EQ if everything's cool, if everything is cut it correctly. But because sometimes when you get like two different or 3 or 5 different loops, some frequencies are getting annoying, because altogether you get some things you don't like. So you need to check everything together. I would put a compressor again. A little bit of, but just a little bit, because don't forget, if you compressed already on the beginning, you're compressing on the bass, it gets like, if you have ratio 3, you will have 3 times the compression, and then again you have compression on the end. So it's not it's not really good. So be really careful on volumes. If you compress really small amounts, and then put it out really loud on master. So I would check all the channels separately, all the buses separately. I would use compressors, EQs, whatever I needed, and then I would put it on master channel. And then on master channel, it's I really love Waves. L316 is actually my favorite.
Is it on there? Can you show us?
I don't know if it's here, but let's see. Where is environments? I don't even know what I used on this one. Let's see. No, yeah, actually it is. Here it is. It's an amazing machine. If you don't really understand it, you can go here and you can load mastering presets, which are like basic 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they work already really cool. So basically you have multi-band compression and EQ. You have limiter, like anything you need. So basically, I can show you how good it works. This is without it. and actually it's all in one. You can, if there's not enough high tones or middle or bass, you can just go here and you can check out the compression down here. You can check out, actually have defaults of releases character. It's really easy, like warm analog, warm classical. You choose your own preferred sound. It's really easy to use. Even if you don't know how to use it, you can use in the beginning on a preset, and it will sound immediately better. But of course, as you get to know the machine, you start to play with the different knobs, and this is an amazing machine for the end.
So this is number one on the mastering chain for this one.
No, this is not number one. It's actually on the end.
Okay.
This is on the end. On the mastering, for example, I have this SS tool, which it's a stereo thing. So I use it like really carefully, really just a little bit on top, you know, to widen it up a little bit. Here's a precision. Actually, I mixed this track quite a while ago, and now I do a bit different things. But as well, precision limiter, maximizer. Sorry, it sounds amazing. And on the end, it's our preferred machine in this studio. It's Fatso. I used to have it as a hardware. I had like almost everything what you have here, what I have here. I almost had everything in hardware, but I sold it because for my taste it sounds better. Anyway, it's total recall anytime, and this is why it's so much easier. Otherwise, we used to have all these synthesizers over here and all this outboard here. Now you can see it's quite empty, but this machine it's amazing. Let's hear the track without all these things. This is gonna sound funny. Precision, Fatso. A lot of people would say, why do I need so many things on master, you know? But then again, if sounds good, just use it, you know. All these machines, I use it really carefully. It's not actually the machine that I use like quite heavily. It's only on the end. It's L316. Otherwise, it's all really like small details and not really heavily compressed, and the sound is not. So I'm careful that the sound is not destroyed before I get it in L316. And then on the end, you can pump it, but not too loud, because if it is really loud, it doesn't mean it's really good. You know, it's funny when I go to Beatport and I buy tracks, they sound really cool, you know, on a headphones. Somehow MP3 conversion makes them really cool and they're loud. And then you play it in a club and they sound shit. You know, it's like, wow, and it's crazy. So be careful. And if it is really loud, it doesn't mean that it's really good. DJ can always, you know, put a gain up, you know, in a club and play really cool. So be careful how much dynamics you still have in a track.